songbook
But
and
she-
stuck to the page.
Yeah. Grab a red book. Page 358 at the bottom. 358 at the bottom. G sharp. Both of guys unchanging. $3.58 at the bottom, Shy. be. Sowing in the morning, sowing seeds of kindness, sowing in the noontime and the dewy evening, waiting for the harvest and the time of reaping. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheep. Sowing in the sunshine, sowing in the shadows, living in the clouds, winter's chilling breeze. While winter was upon us and the years ended, we shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheep. Though whenever we be sowing for the Master, though the loss of splendors and golden green, when our weeping's over, He will bid us welcome. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheep. Amen. Ask God tonight for this opportunity to come and worship Him. And looking forward to see what God has in store for us. Let's see if somebody has a prayer request that I should make known to the church. Have the church help you pray about.
Remember Rita, she's had a pretty rough day, I guess, and she was good.
Couple, few days. She's had her first treatment. And had to have a whole lot of fluid drawn off her lungs because she got first good breathe. So,
Yeah.
and she's really struggling. But she's ready. She's ready. She's just praising the Lord for it. So God love her.
That's someone else.
Remember Eliana, she's sick. We got a call today, took her to the doctor. So remember her.
Someone else. Just remember our nation. I was thinking this week about the leaked document of the Supreme Court, which is a mess in itself. But the way that it looks is, if things go according to plan, is that the Supreme Court looks to overturn basically Roe versus Wade and what's the other one, Casey, as another one of the cases that support abortion, basically turning that over to the individual states and representatives to determine that. And of course, this leak happened probably way earlier than it's the first time something like this has been leaked in years, or in modern history, I guess, with the Supreme Court. But it's probably going to go to the summer. But I think we need to pray about it, because if that's the position these justices are taking, that's things we've been praying about for years, and the way we voted in elections, and the Supreme Court justices that were placed on there to basically wipe out one of the biggest black marks in American history, as far as one of the most unmoral things we could ever have put into what we consider law. And then God's people, I'll just be honest, you might listen, might disagree with me, but if you can claim to be a Christian and be okay with abortion for any cause, then you're not following the Word of God. And so I think it's our duty as a church and our duty as God's people to pray that those people still have a backbone to do what they're supposed to do, what they need to do, because that could really set the nation, I think, in a decent trajectory as far as those things are concerned. I know there's always going to be a fight in relation to that, but the duty of the church is to influence the way that separation of church and state. I've been looking at that and what that meant, and even the ones that originally said it, Thomas Jefferson was one of the first ones, but the way we've made it to say that is not what he intended for that to even be made a part of. And so people have tried to say, we don't want God, we don't want God, we don't want God, but the duty of the church is to pray for our magistrates, that they would make God-fearing decisions, and it's an extremely important thing that's happening, and we need to lead by example, so let's please pray for that.
If God could change Nebuchadnezzar and change Darius, and his will be done. So he still controls man. And it does show just how, over the years they say, oh, God, people shouldn't be involved in politics. Or if they're not involved in politics, then they're not involved in policy. And if we're not involved in policy, then we have a problem.
Yeah.
Trump, appointed 3 of those justices that voted for that. It's going 5-4, it looks like. Even, Justice Roberts, yeah, looks like, he's on the wrong side of it. So it's gonna be 5-4, so, doesn't mean that abortion's gonna be stopped, it's just gonna be turned over to the states.
Yeah. Someone else? And I was just thinking this week too, just keep praying the Lord of the harvest, he'd send laborers into the harvest. And I think there's a harvest at Glory Land. And I just pray that those that God's been dealing with, as they get ready to be converted, that the church is doing what we need to do. We've been in Ruth, and Boaz told Ruth, he said, don't go glean in another field. And you know what? We need to be careful when God's dealing with people, and I think really trying to get them to the spot where they truly trust in him. There's a lot of other fields that might catch their eye that Satan just wants to get right in there, but this is the field that God may have chose for some of them, and just pray that we're ready. We're doing what God would have us to do. Someone else? All right, let's go to the Lord in prayer tonight. Praise the Spirit lead. Lord, I thank you for the opportunity to be here, and I also ask you to give us our trespasses over us, God, that so many times, Lord. Lord, out of your call your trial, Lord, we ask you to help us to be obedient to you, and help us, Lord, to be found in your help the church to grow. Your grace and knowledge is beautiful, help us, Lord, Lord, as we are in the wisdom and wisdom of the full, Lord, we ask you to help us, and those who are dealing with Lord, Lord, you're getting in, Lord, the church, we resurrect you, and salvation, that's good, Lord, so just move the right thing, Lord, for us, and let the biblical truth be Lord, Lord, we ask for those who are strength, and silence, Lord, the nation, help us, Lord, to turn from making, Lord, you, Lord, we turn our hearts, Lord, to you, bless each one, before we ask for you, please help us, you allow the Lord, get me to be up, you help us, Lord, to be obedient to you, help our nation, let's get you, Lord, just worship you, right, for that, help us, Lord, to be obedient to you, Lord, continue to be there, to say people, finish you, Lord, and bless you, Lord, hurt you, for your you want nothing else, you want to pray, Lord, Anybody have anything on their heart they need to say to the Lord right now?